Welcome, and please be seated. Dear grad.
Recording in progress.
Planning on, yeah. No, I just want the mics out there early so that we can, yeah. I guess you probably don't need them because it should pick it up from the mics on the ceiling too. Okay, so I wanted to start off with a recap of yesterday, just because we sort of abruptly stopped right after Joth came. So any sort of closing thoughts from that Dutch Brothers case study or things from Joth that you guys felt very valuable, or topics that you would like to hear more of related to that case study? Yeah, yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, he has a wealth of knowledge. Like I said, our relationship goes back probably closer to 15 years almost. And like he said, we were a lot younger at that time, but always felt that he was a very thoughtful person, and actually was one of the board members that I looked up to the most, because he would actually read the board packets, process things, and then ask very good questions in the board meeting that weren't sort of surface level. So very good. One thing that you guys probably picked up on him, he didn't pitch this, so I'll pitch it for him, but you probably mentioned or heard him mention 5 things a couple of times. So he did that probably with two or three different times throughout his presentation. He really believes in that rule of 5. So we talked about priorities yesterday. And really he says, and I've been in a lot of board meetings with him, and he's like, look, you can only really prioritize 5 things. So what are the 5 things you're going to work on? And I want to know what those 5 things are. And then work on those 5 things. If it's not in that realm of those 5 things, and then it's not a priority for you right now, and you need to sort of put that to the wayside. And that, especially as an executive, that sort of keeps you at the right level and keeps you focused in the right area. He talked a lot about his systems, and he's actually written a book. I think you can find his book on Amazon. It's a pretty simple book, but he's an incredibly disciplined person. And it's the system, and I think it's the System of 5 is the name of it. If you just Google his name on Amazon, you can look at it. It's a very easy read and more of like a workbook that you can sort of fill out. He goes through what his sort of very, very, very disciplined work schedule is, from, I think, waking up at about 5 o'clock, getting his workout in, getting some sort of mental work done, and then going throughout his day, everything sort of detailed out how he handles that. So I found that to be valuable, and was following that for a period of time, and thought about that yesterday and thought, hey, maybe I need to go revisit this and look at it again. So great. Anything else from the Dutch Brothers? Oh, one last thing about the Dutch Brothers case study that he glossed over and talked about it, but I wanted to bring this point up because I think that this is so important, especially for where you all are in this room. He met Christine, who is the current CEO that he brought in at Dutch Brothers. He met her as a advisory board member at Ninkasi. So she came from Starbucks. She has that Bain background. They didn't know each other before. That's how they met, and that's how she's in that one reason why she's in that CEO role at Dutch right now. She did have a CEO role at True Food Kitchen before that, and again, she has tons of experience with Starbucks. One thing Joth didn't talk about was she was responsible for bringing a lot of the food items back into the forefront of Starbucks and really redeveloping that menu. So something like the egg bites, the sous vide egg bites, that was all her project, and she launched that. So that was a very cool, innovative thing that she got to do there, and trying to roll that out in scale to Starbucks across the country. I got to hear a little bit more of that, but that was a pretty cool thing that she was involved in. So, yeah, question over here, Ken, or comment for the Dutch Brothers case study? No? You're good? Okay. Yeah?
I'd love to see any of that Ninkasi board material, if there's anything that you can share, just as like what the presentation and like the format and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't have those anymore because I haven't been involved there for so long. So yeah, I don't have anything related to that I can share. But generally we'd start off with a financial review, get into strategy, how our strategy execution was going, and then sort of have an open discussion behind the board. Normally we did half-day meetings, half-day to full-day meetings, up here in Portland. So any other questions about Dutch Brothers? Feedback? Nope. Okay, well, we sort of really breezed through that, but thanks for the feedback. And we'll jump in here then. So we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to launch into the Google case study first. A couple things about today. We'll launch into the Google case study. We'll go through some preview work before that with some DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion information. Then we'll go through some small group activities with the DEI stuff. And then my goal is to have you done by 4:35. I was told you need 15 minutes at the end of class to fill out your evaluations for the course. So we'll wrap up so you guys have a full 15 minutes. Try to get you out of here at 4:50 because I know I kept you longer yesterday. What was that? Did I say? 50 minutes. Oh, 50 minutes. You need 50. Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah, you're really thorough. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so 35 after so that you have 15 minutes to get those done and get you out of here at 4:50. So, okay, so let's jump in. What would be your, if you guys saw this, what's your definition, or what would you think if I asked you, what is privilege?
I'll just say privilege is not knowing what privilege is. Well, privilege, like I mean, obviously, all of us here, like, we're in a privileged situation to be in this space, but it seems like people, and myself included, who have that privilege.
Program, but I think oftentimes we don't acknowledge the sacrifice that all of you made for them to be in this program. So I'd like our graduates to turn around and put your hands together and to thank everybody that has been your support system here. So I missed your duck talks, I missed your capstones, but from what the staff has told me, what the faculty has told me, and I can see the reflection over here in the products. No online program has gotten as far along in products that all of you got. So I think that speaks to your commitment to each other, that's where it starts. While we say that we're a product program, we're really a people program, right? So you can't make any product for the marketplace unless you figure out how to work together. And all of you figured that out pretty quick. I remember orientation with all of you, and it was like you clicked, and you realized that you were stronger together. And so you spent 21 months focused on your individual success through the fact that your team was going to succeed and your cohort would succeed. And I was really, really proud of you. I asked Tristan before, I said, if there was one theme that came through the Duck Talks, what was it? What was the one thing that kind of defines the class of 2024? And he said risk-taking. He said, we had 2 people in our cohort that went to Asia this summer for their internships. That might be why Asia knows about our program. I'm not sure. Could be it, though. But one of the people sitting in your cohort that moved himself to Portland, Oregon without a job, and who's now working and contributing to the Nike company. And each of you, those are just 3 examples, but each of you have taken big risks to be sitting in the chairs that you are sitting in today. The one thing that I always tell graduates is your education is not ending today, it's starting. The risk-taking is not ending today, it's starting, because that is how you are successful in this industry. So I am thrilled to be able to say, graduates, you made it. Enjoy today.
Hi, everyone. For those that don't know me, my name is Ellen Kiger. I'm a fellow graduate here. And I guess if no one else has anything to say for the students, I'll get us started. A little context for everyone that's not a student or professor. I am the cohort's first to come off mute girl, and have been this entire program. So I was honestly shocked when you guys voted me to give this speech, not because I don't think I have amazing things to say, because I do, but because after all this time, you still wanted to hear more from me. After I haven't shut up for 21 months. But to be honest, writing this speech was one of the few times I've felt actually speechless. So I looked back at what we've learned through this program, and it really truly came down to one concept: the consumer. No good product exists that didn't come from a good consumer insight. For those that don't know, a consumer insight is uncovering the hidden desires, frustrations, and motivations that drive people's decisions when buying products. Throughout our time in this program, we've learned that when you don't know the next move to make for a product, always go back to the consumer. Try to find a deeper understanding of them so you can act on it. And we've done that a lot, but I think we've also found many consumer insights about ourselves, each other, and even our professors. For example, EBJ, our product development professor, creates difficult and intricate assignments while simultaneously cold calling students in class, striking fear and anxiety among students. However, her class sets a necessary and helpful baseline for everything in sports product. Eberly assumes the role of the hard Jersey guy with a laid-back attitude and the willingness to cuss in class. But if you get on his good side, you will learn he is caring and passionate about his students. Dante here has worked at Gooder for years and now has melded his personality with Gooder. Him and Gooder are one. I fear they cannot live without each other. Alberto realized sometimes the best consumer insights come from unexpected places, like when he learned he has the niche but all-important skill of navigating international customs detention when his passport gets taken away in rural Vietnam. And Ellen Schmidt-Devlin, the co-founder of our program, has a really badass name, and anyone that shares the same first name as her is bound to have an equally as successful career. This one is 100% scientifically backed, and not at all biased, but please don't look any further into it. But most importantly, grad school has given us the opportunity to discover insights about ourselves and uncover things we didn't know. For some, it was the realization that they thrived in a collaborative environment where every project was a team effort and a constant exchange of ideas that brought out the best in everyone. For others, it was finding confidence within themselves that they didn't know they possessed. The pressure of deadlines and presentations may have initially felt overwhelming, but with each project, each presentation, and each positive feedback, a quiet self-belief began to form. We've all pushed ourselves to new limits, learned the power of perseverance, and discovered just how much we can accomplish, even when life often felt like a never-ending to-do list. Maybe it was conquering a fear of public speaking, learning how to perfectly label a shoe, or simply maintaining some sort of social life despite full-time work and school. Whatever the challenge, we dug deep and proved to ourselves that we are capable of so much more than we imagined. So, don't forget or waste the learnings about the most important person that will affect your life, yourself. It's not every day that you get the opportunity for such self-reflection. So my hope for you all is that as you move on to your big, successful careers, you continue to find deep, meaningful consumer insights that helps make creative, innovative, and life-changing products for decades to come. But even more so, I hope you keep uncovering insights about yourself and use those discoveries as your superpower to design the life you truly want. Because after all, a consumer insight is completely pointless if it's not put to practice. Thank you.
I wish I still had my Gooders on, because apparently it's a big part of my personality now. For those of you who don't know, my name is Dante Pazgage, and I am very fortunate to be up here to present the Faculty Award. We are incredibly lucky to have incredible faculty in this program for all of our courses. We have the incredible fortune to be taught by a wonderful group of generous people with significant industry experience. We not only learn the theories behind these concepts that we were learning, but also examples of their implementation in business from their depth of experience. The instructor voted to receive this award used detailed experience to develop a new curriculum on some of the most cutting-edge and content talked about in this program. This faculty member brought energy and enthusiasm to every lesson. Their excitement to support our learning was palpable and appreciated. Truly, this instructor is an incredible bright spot in this program. In an industry that our instructors have called out for being outdated at times and in need of change, this instructor raised the bar for cutting-edge content and did that while making purposeful connections to the industry as a whole and our team projects. This instructor started teaching a brand new course for us. Not only that, but he absolutely crushed it as if he'd been teaching about the metaverse since Zuckerberg first launched Facebook. We covered topics that are so new that we were ideating potential applications to the industry never before considered. We actually talked about NFTs, blockchain, Web3, AI, and more. I picked the ones that sound fun. We also got some specific learnings about how to use KPIs and, actual digital marketing things today. These all sound like they're way out of left field for sports product, but this instructor did a wonderful job of weaving them into our industry and unveiled an insane amount of potential for us to incorporate tech in our future endeavors. In case it wasn't already clear what course I'm referring to, I'm honored to present Jimmy Mouton, our instructor of the Digital Connections course, with the Faculty Award for his excellence in developing a course that radically impacted our perceptions of the newest technologies in the industry. So, thank you for all you've done for us, Jimmy Mouton.
So truly, I got a little bit of a tip-off, like just a few minutes before that lovely speech started. And as this class knows, I instantly am like, all right, how can I apply something really smart and techie to it? So I'll just read you my conversation 2 minutes ago with ChatGPT. I'm an adjunct instructor at a university, and I've just been informed I won a faculty award that I have to accept with a quick speech, so help me write a 15-second acceptance script, and please be witty. So ChatGPT said, here's a quick and witty acceptance speech. Thank you so much for this award. I always tell my students, learn something new every day. Today, I learned that hard work and a lot of caffeine really pays off. Congratulations to all the graduates. Let's go make a difference in the world. And then I was like, that's more too much about me. So I said, okay, but work in telling them something motivational for the future of their career. So it said, here's a revised version with a motivational touch. So thank you so much for this award. I always tell my students, learn something new every day. Today I learned that hard work and a lot of caffeine really pays off. To all the graduates, remember, your career is a marathon, not a sprint. Keep learning, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of perseverance. Congratulations. So thank you to AI, but I think that actually proves, even though you all got to use AI, it will never replace you all. You're going to kick ass in the entire industry, all the wide reaches of it, and I appreciate this so much from y'all.
Hello, everybody. For those of you that don't know, my name's Miguel Balagat. Real quick, I just want to give a big thank you to my family and my beautiful wife, just for all your unconditional love and overwhelming support in my chasing of this accomplishment. For almost 2 years, I wouldn't be here without you. Hello, cohort. When I found out I'd be one of the speakers for our commencement, I was honestly shocked and a little pissed that I had one more thing to worry about before graduation. Public speaking's hard, and I voted for Blake because I wanted to hear him say hello, cohort, one last time up here. As I was figuring out the subject for my speech, my wife and I were doing our nightly routine of binging an excessive amount of Survivor, and yes, the show is still on to this day. We were watching the latest season when it hit me. The SPM program and Survivor are basically the same thing. Survivor splits groups into tribes. SPM splits students into sports product creation teams. Survivor has difficult challenges that test you physically, mentally, and emotionally. SPM has residencies where we were tested physically, mentally, and emotionally. Survivor has Jeff Probst. We have John Eberly. Survivor has tribal councils where tribe members are voted out of the show. Team 4 had 5 members at one point, and I'm only seeing 3 here today. Just kidding, I know Lee had an immunity idol. In all seriousness, people join the show Survivor to test themselves and gain an experience that changes them for the better. In order to win the ultimate prize at the end, you need to adapt, create strong alliances, and plan out strategically. The same can be said for this program. On Survivor, the game changes frequently, alliances shift, challenges vary, and unexpected twists occur. We've all adapted. We were navigating full-time jobs while taking on a master's program, putting time into a 9-to-5 social life and turning in assignments at midnight, or maybe that was 12 in the afternoon, who's to say? All of us were thinking the same thing during the pandemic. We said, screw our current situation, and let's do something that we're truly passionate about. I'm so proud and grateful for all of you, because if it weren't for that mindset, we wouldn't have met in this program. Speaking of relationships, no one wins at Survivor alone, and we didn't get to where we are in this program by ourselves either. Over the span of 2 years, we worked as alliances in breakout rooms and on our own time to get group presentations, lab work, and our capstones finished. We spent residencies and a trip to Asia getting to know each other's passions and goals. We built meaningful friendships and accessed a network of mentors to help us in all of our future endeavors. Keep building those alliances, because they will be the greatest asset to all of our future successes. Lastly, planning strategically on Survivor is what gets you to the end. Contestants on the show are constantly weighing the risks and rewards of their decisions, whether it's making a bold move to blindside an opponent or playing it safe to maintain their position. We sized each other up when we were all put into this product creation teams, laid out each other's strengths and weaknesses, and strategized intricate plans on how we were going to get through whatever hurdle came from this program or everyday life. To wrap it all up, the journey of winning Survivor and completing the SPM program share a lot of similarities. Both require adaptability, strong relationships, and strategic planning. I'm confident in our futures because we've been given the tools to thrive in this industry and grow into passionate professionals. Congrats, cohort. Now, if you could direct your attention to either of the screens for a highlight reel of our cohort that was created by our very own Jesse Aberkis.
I know it said the last time was the last time. It's never the last time. Hello, cohort. Perfect.
Last name ever, first name greatest. Like a sprained ankle, boy, ain't nothing to play with. Started off local, but thanks to all the haters, I know G4 pilots on a first name basis. In your city, faded off the brown. Nino, she insists she got more class. We know, swimming in the money, come and find me. Nemo, if I was at the club, you know I balled. Chemo, dropped a mixtape that sounded like an album. Who'd have thought a countrywide tour be the outcome? Labels want my name beside an X like Malcolm. Everybody got a deal, I did it without one.
If you know little bit shorter. All right, hello everyone. My name is Aaron Knorr, and I will be presenting the Robin and Roger Best Innovation Award. But before I do that, I just wanted to collect some consumer insights and start with a survey question. So, how many of you are baseball fans in the room? Give a nice big raise. Well, I'm not, and I shouldn't be the voice of the consumer anyways, so that's why I asked. Anyways, because I'm not, and because Jimmy had such a great impact on us, I did what any good student would do, research using ChatGPT. So I asked ChatGPT a simple question. How would you describe the New York Yankees in 1984? The first line read, the New York Yankees in 1984 can be described as a team undergoing a period of transition. How fitting. Given the turmoil of the season, budget must have been low for security since they let a young Roger Best and his friends run bases before snapping a pick with Mickey Mantle at batting practice. So for those that have spent time with Roger, you all know how much of a risk taker he is. Never afraid of the unknown. Always willing to pave a path forward for himself and others. Both Robin and Roger have continued to invest their time and energy towards people who share their values of creativity and innovation. As a co-founder of the SPM program, he tag teamed with Dr. Ellen Schmidt-Devlin to nurture the next generation of leaders, visionaries, and pioneers. So today we are here to recognize a team within our cohort that showcases not only an innovative product, but also to highlight the internal team evolution required to reach a solution that makes us remember why innovation is still necessary. Now, this team was short-staffed early on in the program and continues to have attendance issues today. But even as I joke, I want to take a moment and say that this is what the real world is like. You know, this industry isn't perfect. We're all human beings that make mistakes and come short sometimes. But with all that, especially for this small team, they trusted each other to get the job done. And Roger Best believed that it all starts with believing and trusting in people. The more diverse their background, the more interesting and innovative the result can become. So it's with great privilege that I introduce Dr. Roger Best to the stage. So everyone, please join me in giving him a warm round of applause.
Yeah, that was 60 years ago that we ran the bases in Yankee Stadium. Snuck in, that was a great event. Anyway, I'm just gonna make a few comments, especially to the guests, the parents, friends and relatives. Just want you to try and imagine what it'd be like crossing the country to join a program with people you've never met before, instructors you've never met before, a town maybe you've never been to before. And you're committing a lot of money in 21 months to that. And you're gonna be started out and said, well, here's a blank piece of paper. Over the next 21 months, we want you to create a product. And I'm really proud of what they've created. If you don't get a chance, please take a look at the result of this program in 21 months. This is a unique program. I don't think there's any program in the world that can start with a problem and finish with a product, a real product, a tangible product, and a tangible experience. And again, that's true because of our professors and our lab and our leadership all the way around. It's a great product experience. I come from a product background, and Ellen and I felt from the very beginning, we can't be just a textbook program. We have to have that hands-on, tangible experience of making. I never envisioned us getting this far to where we could actually convince factories to take your lab prototypes and convert them into factory-finished prototypes. They're just beautiful, works of art in my own particular opinion. So today, obviously, we have to pick one team to win the Innovation Award, and that team is Asa Falia. If you can come up here and receive the award. Team 4. You. Drew? Oh, I got Drew. All right, Drew. Thank you. And JJ. There we go. Please give him a round of applause. And please realize the amount, think of again, a blank piece of paper 21 months ago, going through the consumer insights, the design, the supply chain possibilities with materials, and then building a lab prototype and then having a factory prototype. It's just amazing. Thanks again. Congratulations. Okay.
So, this tassel has been bothering me since I put it on, and it will likely end up in my mouth at some point during this. So because we are entering an industry full of rule breakers, innovators, and trendsetters, I'm going to remove my cap, and I would invite any of the other graduates who have also complained about it to do the same. Faculty, you're welcome to do the same as well. Let me be the first to toss my cap. And we'll kick this off. So you would think that after presenting several times over the last couple of days that this would be getting easier, but the crowd is growing, so I'm here to tell you it's not getting easier. It also doesn't help that many of my themes and jokes have already been stolen, but it is far too late to make major changes. I did make some edits while I was sitting here. So we're just gonna roll with it and see what happens. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tanner Kraus. I am graduating today. And first of all, I would like to thank all of you in attendance. We truly could not do this without you as graduates. I would especially like to thank my beautiful wife, Ganesha. Your name belongs on the diploma just as much as mine. Like the dogs that graduate with their blind owners and get honorary diplomas, I think the spouses and girlfriends and boyfriends that have had to sit through 21 months of classes should get the same privilege. I would also like to thank my parents for their love and support throughout this program and for always encouraging me to follow my dreams. And lastly, I'd like to thank the staff, faculty, and of course my fellow students for selecting me to speak to you today. It truly is an honor and a privilege. So many of you have already heard me speak this week. There's some new faces in the crowd, like I mentioned. It started last week when I presented to Under Armour with Aaron, Nor, and Jesse. We got to talk to some of the industry professionals about some future product lines of theirs. Next up was Capstone, where my team and I talked about an underrepresented group that could definitely do could do well in getting some products designed for them, and we talked about the product that we created that could help solve some of those needs. And finally, I got to speak in my Duck Talk about one of my true passions, sneakers, and I really hope that my love for sneakers and all things streetwear truly came across in my Duck Talk. Today, however, I will be talking about something else that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is failure. But before I get into that, we got to talk about how I ended up on this stage. I thanked the graduates for selecting me, but I don't know how many people actually voted for me to speak. I did some polling at AJ's barbecue a couple days ago, and I couldn't find anybody that actually voted for me. So I don't know why I'm up here. When Erica sent out the survey asking who we wanted to speak, and I started texting people, kind of running a campaign for Ellen, it was clear she had like near unanimous support. So imagine my surprise when we all get an email from John Eberly informing us of this opportunity we have been volunteered for, or as the 7 of us called it, voluntold. I did what anybody would do, what Jimmy did, and I ran to ChatGPT, a joke that was already stolen, fired it up, and asked ChatGPT, what's the format of a commencement speech? I've never done this before, probably won't do it again, unless I go get a PhD against my wife's wishes. You'll get your name on that one too, babe, don't worry. How to condense 21 months of thoughts, experiences, and learnings, and maybe some good quotes to draw inspiration from. And like Jimmy, it sent me down the wrong path. It wanted me to use a quote from Winston Churchill. And despite the presence of Fleet Week here in Portland, we are not graduating from a military academy. We're graduating from sports product management. We're focusing on sports. It's in the name of the program, if you didn't catch that. So I wanted to look for something more sport related. And so I went to my favorite sport, baseball, but Aaron Norris stole that too. Luckily, there's great examples of failure in baseball. And my search led me to Reggie Jackson. Now, I don't know how many of you raised your hand when Aaron asked if you're baseball fans, but I know we have Joe, he's an Astros fan, and Alberto, he's a Dodgers fan. But aside from fans of the two worst teams imaginable, I don't know who else is a baseball fan. Stephanie, I know you're an Orioles fan, but I can't say bad things about them, so I'm going to act like I don't know that. So Reggie Jackson, he is a prime example of failing forward. Reggie Jackson, if you don't know, holds the major league record for strikeouts. He was rung up more than 2,500 times over the course of his career. Jackson debuted for the Kansas City Athletics on June 9th, 1967, which coincidentally is 57 years ago tomorrow, in a doubleheader against the Cleveland Indians. In Game 1, rookie Jackson would go 0 for 3 at the plate, including his first career strikeout. This disappointing performance earned him a seat on the bench at the start of Game 2. However, he would be called in as a defensive replacement in the top of the 5th inning. In the bottom of the 5th, fresh off his rough start in Game 1, Jackson delivered a triple to deep center field. In true baseball fashion, a sport that constantly humbles you and causes you to reflect, he struck out in his very next at-bat after his triple. Now, I share this story of failure because despite holding the strikeout record, most people don't remember Reggie Jackson for all of the strikeouts. To many, Reggie Jackson is remembered as Mr. October for his clutch hitting in the postseason. Jackson's legacy is defined by winning 6 pennants, 5 World Series titles, smacking 563 career home runs. He had 14 All-Star Game selections, and it was all capped off by a first-ballot Hall of Fame selection in 1993. Jackson did not let those first few strikeouts in 1967 define his career. He never gave up and never got complacent and found a ton of success beyond those initial failures, and the failures spread out over the course of his career. Now, similar to Mr. October, my team, Team 3, Team Equilateral, had its fair share of failure throughout the SPM program. Much like Reggie and our SPM debut back in April of last year in the lab, we effectively went 0 for 3 in the lab. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. We almost did something that no other team in the history of SPM did. They almost needed to name an award after us, actually. We almost onshored our product right here in Portland, Oregon in the SPM lab. So for those of you that didn't spend 21 months learning about this, onshoring is the process of producing your product in the country that it's going to be sold in. You'll also nearshore, so that'll be making it in Mexico, selling it in the United States. But we were going to onshore it right here. I lost track of the amount of times professors would say, wow, I have never heard of that being done in SPM. It was a constant thing. However, we did not let those obstacles and failures define us as a team. Despite the fact that we almost missed the opportunity to work with a factory overseas due to the failures on several levels, we made it. We made it to graduation. And if you look over there, there's a beautiful product that was eventually developed in the Philippines. As a team, we did not let these obstacles define us. We pushed forward, pivoted, and corrected our path. Our legacy in the program will hopefully be one of resilience, persistence, and significant growth as a team and as individuals. Today will undoubtedly be seen as a success for each one of us who walks across this stage, and for good reason. This program pushed us to our limits in many ways and forced us to step outside of our comfort zones. Individually and as teams, we had our fair share of successes and failures over the past almost 2 years. So while many have likely congratulated you for making it through this program, let me be the first to congratulate all of you on your failures. Congratulations. Give yourself a round of applause for failing many times. Maybe it was an EBJ quiz. Maybe it was scrapping brand names or brand logos in Greg's class. Maybe it was your first proto in the lab that was a failure. But through those failures, we all made it here, and we'll be walking across the stage very soon. So as we each leave here today and either enter into or climb within the sports product industry, we can expect to face a lot of failure. And I mean a lot of failure. I'm in the middle of a job search, and it has not been easy. It has been full of failure. But like myself, I'm sure all of you are going to persevere and do great things in the industry. Failure is a good thing. That's really what I want to underscore in this. Failing means that we are trying. It means that we are brave enough to make an attempt at something as opposed to sitting idly and doing nothing at all. So please, graduates, never stop failing. With each inevitable failure, we will be one step closer to success. And if I have learned anything over the past 21 months, working alongside you, traveling alongside you, spending countless hours in Life of Riley alongside you, it is that I know that each of you and each of us has the potential to do so much in both our careers and our lives. Thank you.
Hi. Thanks for leading that trend and getting us to take our hats off. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Megan Simpson, and I'm going to be announcing the Nancy and Dave Patrone Entrepreneurship Award. This award recognizes a team in our cohort that has shown growth and built a reputation for entrepreneurship and innovation. Nancy and Dave Patrone serve our community through their generous investments intended to continually enhance the University of Oregon's reputation, programs, and leaderships. On top of the gifts that they have given to support the Sport Product Management Program, they have also supported the Presidential Science Initiative, the Black Cultural Center, the Women in Flight Program, and so many more. Dave and Nancy are people who choose to invest in people with potential, those who have confidence in themselves and a vision for success. They believe that entrepreneurship is a way of thinking and living. Entrepreneurs could not push boundaries or continue to innovate without the generosity of leaders like the Patrones. Our winning team embodies that way of thinking. To be an entrepreneur, you need to be able to fail and get back up again. You need to be able to pivot when things aren't working. Our winning team started the program with the idea of making a water storage vest to be used for skiers and snowboarders in action. I know what you guys are thinking. Another one? Luckily, after realizing that there might not be much of a demand for that specific product, they made the bold decision to pivot. Months into the program, this team decided to try making a shoe. They saw a gap in the market. Runners are currently buying multiple different running shoes for different terrains, and there wasn't a one-shoe-fits-all solution. Through a new reimagined strategy and many hours of hard work, this team was able to start from scratch and build an incredible road to trail shoe by using interchangeable sock liners and carbon plates. This team of entrepreneurs demonstrated the true heart of our industry during their project, the ability to stumble, pivot, and imagine an even more exciting solution. I want to thank Nancy and Dave Patrone for giving teams such as this the investment and opportunity to make adjustments, having confidence in themselves and a new vision for success. All right, I'm happy to announce that the winner of this year's Nancy and Dave Patrone Entrepreneurship Award is Team Stray. Congratulations. Yeah. Miguel just said, well, why don't you say something? Like, I haven't already said enough. You guys thought you were done with me. You're not. No, thank you guys. Honestly, our team is amazing, and building this product, pivoting was terrible. But we made a beautiful product, and it couldn't have been done without all of these guys. They're an amazing team. I'm truly so blessed to have worked with them and have them as teammates and as close friends. So thank you guys.
So having a program like this, you're very dependent on a strong staff to make sure that all of you have access to the school, regardless when you're here and when you're not here. You started this program, and Shelley Gourlay was your director of this program. Just a little history on Shelley. When Roger and I started this program and started this idea of this program in 2011, once we had it approved by the state of Oregon and the University of Oregon, then we needed somebody to help us to get the first students in to get started. So Shelley Gourlay had a long career at Nike. She had a long career at Columbia Sportswear. She made the mistake of putting something in her Facebook that said, I've just left Columbia. I'm just looking forward to some free time. You know me really well, right? Can I buy you a cup of coffee? So that was in 2015. And Shelley served us as our director for all of those years until last year. There was something that Shelley taught me And I think that it was more like an emphasis that Shelley helped me with. And that was something that we tell you every day that this industry is driven by. You're going to say it's adrenaline, right? Yeah. It's not. It's gratitude. And so when Shelley was leaving, I very much wanted to show the program's gratitude to her. And so we created a permanent award called the Shelley Gourlay Appreciation Award. And so all of you know that, our graduates know that, because they're the ones that vote on it. So this year, you took the opportunity to really reflect on who is on the staff and who has helped you while you were in this program. And it would be hard not to bring forward Erica, right? So I'll ask Erica to come on up here. So Erica is the reason that we're all sitting in this beautiful place, having this amazing graduation. She's also the reason that you guys were here 3 other times for your residencies, and she's the one that planned your trip to Asia. And so she's a quiet leader with us, and we can't thank her enough for everything that she does for our program, a quiet leader that maybe wants to come up and say a few words. So thank you, Erica.
Thank you, Ellen. As you probably all know, I'm not the quiet one in the group. I'm probably one of the loudest on our team. I appreciate this. I also want to appreciate Tristan, who was also voted quite often on this, but he is a super amazing human being, and you guys are amazing. What you've put together here, fantastic. Can't wait to see where the future takes all of you, and thank you.
Awesome. Before I announce the next award, I just want to recognize the SPM staff. You've seen our amazing faculty that we have over here and behind us, and we have amazing staff that make all this happen, and one of the reasons why I love my job so much, in addition to the amazing students we have. So quickly, you just met Erica. Andrew helps with our recruitment. Daisy had to leave, but she also is one of our recruiters. Leslie leads our industry engagement. Christina is our executive assistant and somehow keeps Ellen, on time and all that good stuff. And then Tyler is part of our student experience team and works along with Tristan. So I know that all of us, including our students, really appreciate the work of our staff, and I just wanted to acknowledge them. So now I get to do it. Yes. So now it's my pleasure to announce the Service Award. I'm very excited to announce and celebrate the recipient of the Sports Product Management Service Award, a recognition that embodies compassion, dedication, and unwavering support for the program and our community. Today we honor someone whose quiet but steady approach sometimes goes unnoticed. This person is reliable, responsible, and a great team member who is always willing to help. He is one of the first SPM team members a prospective student will interact with, and as such, serves as a very important ambassador for our program. He takes great pride in his work, whether it is talking with a prospective student, interviewing a candidate, or driving a cargo van to pick up equipment, or move students to an event. He is always a positive person, and sometimes he didn't even know some of this was in his job description. You can always count on him to be stylish. His sneakers and clothes are coordinated to achieve a casual but curated look. Today we honor Andrew Merja for his dedication, collaboration, and reliable. We are grateful to have you on our team.
Thank you, everyone. It's very unexpected, but teamwork makes the dream work. So I'm a big believer in that, and can't wait to see y'all excel in the industry. Good luck and congrats again.
One thing that the students know that the rest of you may not know is that Andrew also has the best shoes, right? Yeah. So our next award is the Karsten Tyndall Award. So in our second cohort at the University of Oregon Sports Product Management Program, we lost a student during his internship in Eugene, Oregon. And obviously it was an incredible loss to our program, an incredible loss to his family. They made the decision that they would dedicate a tremendous amount of energy and resources to help us with this program. Everything from the facilities that we have to the packages that you guys receive, a lot of that comes from the money that the Tyndalls provide us. I'll read you just a little bit about Karsten, and I'll read it to you through his words. So Karsten said, I'm currently a candidate in the MS Sports Product Management program at the Lundquist College of Business at the University of Oregon in Portland. My passion for working in the sports and sports product industry is strong, and I want to expand my knowledge with the foremost program in the country. I'm hoping to work for a company that works with teams and individuals alike. Karsten is still with us in our heart, and I know that the person that wins this award represents him very much. We're just going to hear a few words from his family.
Graduation is upon you after months of effort, in the books and in life. You began as individuals accepted into a program with great potential and hopes of success. Well, congratulations. You have succeeded and now represent a cohort with lives tied together. But one of you stands out and has been nominated to receive the Karsten Tyndall Leadership Award as someone reflecting the values of KT, as he was fondly known. In KT's terms, leadership reflects a sense of commitment to others, quiet acceptance of differences, but supportive of the values that appear at the trailhead of each person's life. Leadership to KT was a positive force to move forward, be outwardly focused and inwardly driven, to make a statement. Just let me show you what I can do. It'll surprise us both. Two other attributes reflected his life and his leadership. Competition is not just about winning. It's about being on your game. And disadvantage is a state of mind that can be overcome. So with this approach to life and leadership, we are presenting the KT Leadership Award to someone in your cohort reflecting these attributes and values as told by others in the program.
Descriptions include a selfless individual who is always willing to go outside of their comfort zone to achieve team goals and is a leader who has one of the strongest work ethics I've ever seen. Someone who consistently goes above and beyond while working on team projects to create the best possible result. A person who is resilient and participates in classes and team meetings, no matter what. Someone with a contagiously positive attitude and is the most passionate person about our profession I have ever met. Dedicated to work and business that goes beyond work hours. Always unflappable and always willing to answer questions or help a friend, giving everyone full attention. Like KT, a person who makes you want to be better, and in my opinion, that's one of the best qualities a human can have. The nomination is for an amazing classmate and friend to many, with potential for an accomplished career.
This year, the 2024 Sports Product Management Program June cohort nominates Aaron Knorr to receive the Karsten Tyndall Leadership Award. Please congratulate Aaron.
Very surprised. I think, like many of you all, this is also, well, for some like me, this is the first time I've heard of KT's story and seeing his family. And although I've never met him, I can understand the values that stood behind him and why he exuded all those characteristics. I think it's easy for us to think about ourselves and our program and what we do to always advance ourselves and our careers. But I think we've learned in all our duck talks that life is short, quick, sweet, bitter, and everything in between. And also lonely sometimes. And I think the feeling of immense loss and grief that any family and brother, sister can experience, like you can really feel that too. So, it's better to do this not alone. It's better to do this with teams, with people around you, and everyone's individual success helps everyone else in your circle and your community. So, with this, I truly wouldn't be here without my cohort, without the staff, the faculty, and their family and their support and everything. So this is for you guys as well. Thank you.
Have to adjust this. Hi, everyone. My name is Drew Doring, and I have the honor and privilege of introducing you all to our keynote speaker this afternoon. Our keynote speaker grew up playing basketball in Seattle and was always fascinated with the intersection between sport, product, and marketing for brands such as Nike. Once he learned that jobs existed in this space, he had two goals out of high school: either go to the NBA or work at Nike. He was able to accomplish one of those and was honestly way closer than most of us to accomplishing the other. He sought out the University of Oregon specifically as the place to turn his dreams into reality. He played basketball for 4 years at Oregon while earning his bachelor's degree in sports business. After working for a small ad agency in Beaverton, he was able to land his first role at Nike. This would kick off a truly incredible career journey with the brand, which has involved 9 jobs over a 10-year time span in roles ranging from footwear innovation, product line management, special projects, collaborations, and much more within both the Nike and Jordan brand. He has worked on some of the most coveted products in the world, including Air Force Ones and Air Jordan Ones. And he is passionate about ensuring art and culture are story told through amazing products that show up in market. Our keynote speaker's message today will be centered around creating a solid foundation and how we can build on each other's foundations to get to the places we want to go in our careers. He has many stories to share and will give his honest perspective about the ups and downs of his journey, the sacrifices needed, the range of emotions experienced along the way. It wasn't too long ago he was in the same seat as our graduates today and is now both an inspiration and a world-class example of what is possible after graduating from the University of Oregon. So without further ado, please welcome to the stage fellow Lundquist College of Business alum and the current Global Vice President and General Manager of Energy Streetwear at Jordan Brand, Mr. Nico Fern.
Where's Drew's parents at, or family? Very well done. I was just telling him I might need to do that again for me, so, hopefully I get this opportunity again. And before I say anything about myself, I want to focus on the most important thing here today, which is y'all. This is a monumentous accomplishment. And if perspective helps, today you've achieved more schooling than I ever have in my life. So I want to say a huge congratulations to y'all. The irony of life is plots can change on you quickly. And for one day and one day only, I have doctorate robes on at the current moment. So after the speech, you don't have to listen to anything I say. But for one day, thank you, Ellen. I have more schooling than you, kind of. So I'll go with my formal name, Dr. Nicholas Michael Fern. As Drew said, I'm from Seattle, Washington. Blessed to have a wonderful mother and father from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and South Central LA. A wonderful older sister who lives in Chicago, who is beautiful and smart, and a wonderful mother to my niece, who is 7 years old. I'm a creative. I'm a collector, an art collector. I brought in the art category so I could collect more things. Fine art, trading cards, sneakers, which I see some great ones of, and then some that I'm not really sure how got made, but those yellow ones over there, we're gonna talk about that. Objects, all sort of things, and very proudly, as was said, I'm also a duck. My job, my profession, is with the Jordan brand. I've had the pleasure of having a career there for 10 years, and I've been blessed every single day I've been able to do that, understanding what my place within that represents. It was funny, I was talking to a good friend of mine, and when I was thinking about this, I was trying to think back to when I graduated, and I couldn't remember the commencement speaker. Probably more says more about me than the speaker, but also gave me extreme anxiety as I thought about, wow, like, it's a task ahead. But I realized at that very moment it's no longer a problem. Y'all have talked about Chat GPT. This speech is brought to you by Chat GP Me. It is not, I'm not that advanced, and YouTube exists, which means that forever this will be captured and you have no excuse to forget who I am. So I again, have an advantage. So I went back and I watched all the videos that I could of the commencement speakers that have had the honor of doing this before me many times. And the first takeaway I had is Ellen sets the bar very high. And I think we all know that, but there's been some absolutely amazing speakers. The second one is I kind of forgot that families come to graduation. And I got to see these rooms that were full of very proud looking people. And I also get to have the fun job of judging who's going to be the loudest family in the room when their loved one comes up here on the stage. Also realizing it's YouTube, this is being recorded. If my mom was here, she would definitely beat all of y'all out for the loudest person in the room. And so a shout out to my mother, my father, all my loved ones out here. And then the last one was really proof that this works. This program is truly something special. I didn't put two and two together. He had told me he went through the program, but I had the pleasure of working with somebody who graduated from this program for the last year in the job that I was in on the Nike side, Alec Westbrook. And Ellen, I mean, from the conversations we had, and you kept that Starbucks busy, from what I've come to understand, I was a part of cohort, I'll call it 0 or -1. I was going to go through this program, and literally right before that happened, I ended up getting offered a job, and that was the only difference. So I'm very excited for y'all. Seriously, you're coming into this with experiences that took me years to develop, and I'm just very excited to see what y'all do with that. Okay, so on to what I'm gonna do with this. I was vulnerable with Drew. I really didn't know if what I was going to have to say would connect, because I'm more of a person who just likes to ask questions. I just like to know what people think, and I literally thought about getting up here and just having y'all all ask me questions and talk, but I think that probably wouldn't have been accepted by Ellen's high bar. But it was funny, kind of serendipitously, I had a conversation with a young man, and that person asked me some really great questions, and so I decided to just kind of take some of those questions down and try to record to the best of my ability that conversation. That conversation started really easy. First question, where do you work? Jordan Brand, what do you do? General manager of energy. What does that mean? Essentially, I'm responsible for helping make things happen for a team, and I'm accountable if they don't. How old are you? Hesitated, but 34. You can see me get off that chair. I'm 34. Did they ask you about your grades when you got hired? Nah. Have you ever been to Japan? Yes. Have you seen the world? Absolutely. It's one of the things that, honestly, I think is the best part of having a career. The experiences that y'all got, obviously, to go over there and travel to Asia. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Who are the most interesting people you've met? I've been blessed to say a lot, or met a lot of my heroes, thanks to some of the people actually sitting in this room over here. I saw them walk in earlier. But if I had to choose two, I'll set my bar high too and go with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Then we got comfortable, and the conversation started to get a little bit more personal, as they do when you get to talking with people. He asked, what gets you excited these days? And as it was one of the first sunny days in Portland, I said a sunny day in Portland. Travel, art, seeing my family, my friends, collective success. Asked the question, are you happy? Which always makes you sit back for a minute, and I was able to answer that, yes. Do you have kids? No, I do not. Do you have a big house? I have tall ceilings, but I would not call my house big, our house big. Would you consider yourself rich? Which was a very interesting question. And I answered that by saying, not as rich as you. Time is money, and you have a lot more time than I do. How'd you feel when you made your first 100K? A little bit of a personal question, but I'll tell you, it felt good. And I wish that for all of y'all. I wish y'all unlimited success. But I will tell you this, there are a lot more ways to lose money than there are to make them. So hang on to your money tight and save well. Of course, you can buy sneakers, but don't buy too many. Is there a path you could have taken that you didn't, and in hindsight, you wish you did? And Drew said it, yeah, the NBA was my dream, and I had to face myself when that wasn't a real reality and ask myself why it wasn't a reality. And the honest conversation I had with myself is I did not give my all to the game of basketball. But what that taught me very humbly from a lesson standpoint is if I give my all to something, then I can be in the equivalent NBA. So if any of y'all had one dream and you honestly can say you missed it and you didn't give your all to it, that's okay. There's room for another. By now, as you can tell, we were settling in. I was opening up, so the harder questions started to come. Would you consider yourself successful? And I think that could be answered in hundreds of ways. But since we were talking about work, yeah, I believe, yes, I can. I've been a part of continuing a legacy of some of the largest franchises in Nike Inc. history. I've been able to do that and somehow still remain loved by my family from afar. I have a beautiful partner. What were the calculated risks you took and were they worth it? Moving to Portland was a calculated risk. I'm not from here. It was a different environment. Again, I'm from Seattle. You're probably like, oh, it's the same place. Nah, it's really not. They're very different. But one of the most calculated risks I took is I quit a job that was an amazing experience, but I did not feel was valuing what I had to bring to the industry. And I did not do that on my own. I was given that advice by somebody, and all I did was listen and chase my dream. I really feel like those risks were worth it. Did you achieve your goals? One of my very simple goals in creating product was always just wanting to put a smile on people's faces when they bought those products. I believe that I have been able to achieve that. And I also had a very ambitious goal and encourage you to set goals that are comfortable for you, but to also be ambitious. And that was that I would be a vice president at Nike by the age of 32. I missed that, but not by much. So it's always good to set a goal high, because if you miss, you'll be okay. But when did you figure out that was possible? Like, why would you set a goal like that? And again, none of us get to be the way we are because of ourselves alone. When one of my third weeks at Nike, I had a gentleman named Paul pull up on me and make me a bet that within 10 years I would be a vice president. And so when you think about the people around you and the people who believe in you and can help you believe in things you might not believe possible, it's a huge part of why we get to do the things we do. The questions continued to get a little bit harder from there. And one of my favorites was, how did you remain your true self and be able to continue and move ahead career-wise? Which I thought, again, was an amazing question. And what I could say to that is I can't say, as hard as I've worked at this, as much of my life as I dedicated to this, that I've ever valued my work over how my actions would be viewed by my family and my friends. You never have to detach those two things. You are all grown up with special people in your lives, and they're the ones that will keep you most honest to yourselves. The next set of questions really started making me uncomfortable. I kind of wanted to end the conversation at this point, but it'd be a rude thing to do. And honestly, when I feel challenged, I feel like that's more reason to stay there. But the questions got pretty deep. One of the questions was, do you struggle with standing up for yourself and letting things go? Because of how I was raised, I can say I was fortunate. I don't struggle necessarily to stand up for myself. And I take a tremendous pride in standing up for others. But letting things go can be very challenging. And I've found the only way that I've been able to let go of things is to go towards them. Problems do not go away. And the sooner we can all learn the best way to deal with those, the more reprieve we will bring to our personal lives. Did you feel like your job totally gets you? Did you love every job that you've had? Fortunately, more than not. And I'm leaning like this, by the way, because this hat might fall off, but my hair is a little different, so I don't want to see what happens if that happens. Somebody really smart once told me, you're lucky if every other job you have, you love. You did very, very well in life if every other job you had, you love. And that really, really helped with perspective. It doesn't mean you don't put everything you have into every job, but I think just being realistic, not everything that we work on will be something that we love, but we still got to go hard. Does life get any easier? No, not really. Is there a secret to how people maintain relationships and friendships, especially during difficult times? To be honest, this is, again, not something I've developed on my own, but I have a wonderful support team, one of which I encourage for everybody is having a therapist when you get into this world of business, because you are dealing with people and relationships. And what I was really taught and what I was challenged is, do I care more about being right, or do I care more about moving forward? Sometimes it's not about being right. In this life, it's always about moving forward. What little things that you may have almost missed at the time ended up being big things? Number one, the forming of bad habits. I stopped working out, for a week, then a week turns to 2 weeks, 2 weeks turns to 3 weeks, 3 weeks turns to 3 months, and then now all of a sudden you're really climbing back. So just watch out for those little things and try not to let them slip, along with bad routines. Do you find contentment and joy in the smaller moments above seeking happiness in a bigger sense? That question took me a minute to think about. But for too long, I did not find the happiness in the smaller moments. As mentioned, 9 jobs in 10 years. I'm fortunate that the majority of those, yes, were promotions, and I did not celebrate but one. And my mom checked me one day and informed me that at a certain point of life, you will not have promotions to celebrate. You may not have as many things to celebrate, and you might not be able to celebrate them as hard and not deal with the repercussions. And since then, I have tried to make it a point to celebrate every win and every small thing in life. The last couple questions were broad, but they were big. What have you found? Great people, purpose, knowledge, memories, and many more things. And the tough question of what have you lost? Time, friends, sometimes my mind. But you are going to lose things, and that is okay. Just please remember to focus on what you have gained and what you have found, and know that just because you lost something doesn't mean you can't still love it. Have you made the impact you wanted to? I had to pause for a minute, and I answered that. I certainly think that I have, and I'm certainly excited to hopefully do more. And now we were kind of reaching the end of the conversation, and he asked me, what shoes should I wear to graduation? And I said the Jordan 4. And I asked him, what shoes should I wear to give this speech? And he said the Jordan 4. Then he said, are you proud of me as a younger version of you? And I said, I am. And I said, may I ask you one more question? Are you proud of me as a older version of you? And he said, I am. So to maintain this tradition, I'll leave you with a couple of cheat codes. If you can't tell, that was not actually a random young man. That was a conversation I had with myself, a younger version of myself. And I encourage all of us to think about how the actions we make today will make us proud 10 years from now. To be successful in this world, what I've certainly learned in the cheat code, the first one I'll offer, and the tradition, again, of offering these cheat codes is nobody can love you, or you can't let anybody love you more than you love yourself. And by that, I do not mean that you cannot love your spouses, your moms, your dads, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, your godfathers, your godmothers, your nieces, etc. But you have to love yourself. There will be times when your value will be challenged, and you'll question potentially if somebody sees what you are across the way. But I promise you, if you love yourself, you will walk out of that conversation feeling good. For the second cheat code, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to offer and try to channel a different universe version of myself being a civil engineer. Are there any civil engineers in the room? Thank God. So I Googled, and I'll chat GPT it next time, I swear to you. Home foundations, what are the strongest types? And what it told me was poured concrete is the strongest type of home foundation. But I continued to Google, and I was very curious to know, are there any that don't break? And the answer to that question I could not find. Foundations are not built not to break. Foundations will crack. And the one choice we have, anybody who owns a home knows, the most important thing that you can do is find that crack and fill it as fast as you possibly can. One of the things I feel like I learned the best from going to school is how to cheat. And I don't mean cheat in a negative way, but cheat in a way that when you come into the real world, you understand is really the word collaboration. My cheat code, again, was finding the right people to give me their notes. Not cheating off the wrong people. Again, finding that smartest kid in class is called building a network from here on forward. And to build this speech, I actually reached out to everybody in my network, all my mentors, my family, and asked them, what would you ask your younger selves? So this is not a speech constructed by me. This is a speech constructed by my foundation. The only person I didn't ask was my partner, but it's because I wanted to surprise her. And I'm hoping she's enjoying this. And for the final act, I'll channel again another version of me in World 771 who spent the last 10 years as an arborist. Anybody an arborist in here? It's my lucky day. We had 13 trees fall at our house in the last storm. That was out here in Portland, and obviously I just want to offer condolences and well wishes to anybody who also went through loss of property or life in that time. And it made me think about this quote that people always say. You know that quote, like when a tree falls, who hears the sound? Everybody know that? Yeah, it's always been weird to me. I'll tell you what, I did. We did. We heard 13 trees fall. One of them clipped the house and totaled my partner's car. And yeah, it was a pretty wild day. But my question really is, why did those trees have to fall? And that is where I'll try to be an arborist for a minute. Near our property, they had removed old growth trees that had been there for a number of years. They wiped them out to build a development, which is all good. I want everybody to be able to afford a home. But what happens when they did that is the trees that were left were no longer guarded by the wind. They were not weak by choice, right? They just hadn't had their opportunity yet to grow strong, to build a strong foundation. Right now, you are strong trees. It's been awesome to just see y'all be up here, support each other, laugh with each other. You have a strong foundation just sitting with you right here. But at some point, all of us will be weak trees. But every weak tree has a choice. When that storm hits, do I fall or do I grow my roots deeper and become a strong tree that ends up protecting others? So that final cheat code, instead of just answering that question, when a tree falls, who hears the sound, and just wondering, it's a weird one, challenge it and challenge everything with empathy and understanding challenge everything. So today, I'll sit on the stage as a doctor, an arborist, two versions of myself, a vice president, very thankfully at Jordan Brand. And this is all made possible by the people who love me and the love I have for myself and the investment I've made in my foundation. And just in tradition, keeping with tradition of ending with a quote from a famous person, I'll offer y'all one. A dream plus a plan equals a revolution. A dream without a plan means you're sleeping, and I'd offer for all of us to wake up. So congratulations again. I wish each and every one of you unlimited success in this journey that you're going to go on. I believe in y'all. I love y'all. Thank you.
All right. Are you ready? No speech, no cursing. Shoes and diplomas. So students, please rise. And let's get this party started. Jesse Ubarkas. Naomi Alvarado. Miguel Balagat. Alberto Baez. Donald Bedell. Drew During. Aaron Freeman.
Sharon Garrett. Tanner Kraus. Ellen Kiger. Tyler Liang. Aaron Noor. Dante Pascage. Blake Redmond. Megan Simpson. Joe Thomas. AJ Vidamo. And although she's not here, Lee Sun. So please congratulate this class SPMO 2024.
that went too fast. Not like the 21 months, right? I learned a lot from Nico's speech. And I think that anytime you have somebody at Nico's level to be able to come in and kind of share a perspective and to see all of you in 10 years, that's pretty cool. But there were two things that I wanted to kind of amplify. The first is that Dr. Fern, after 10 years, got further than I did after 27 years in the industry. The second thing was something that he said his mother told him, and that was that we need to celebrate. And so I'd like to ask the graduates to please stand. Turn around. Please welcome the class of 2024. University of Oregon Sports Product Management Program. Congratulations.